The hell are you guys?
We represent the Power Rangers fanbase, and we think it's stupid that you're covering the show. Are you not manly?
No, we're not doing this. You're a straw man down for comedic effect, and you used to work with that manga guy, didn't you?
Yep.
Get the hell out of my house before I call the cops on you as well. Seriously, who the fuck makes a straw man like that? Yeah, something tells me that some of you are probably confused about the title or even the property I'm reviewing today. The hell's a Pretty Cure? All stars? Is this a director's cut? Well, to those who don't know, let me tell you about the Pretty Cure series, or as people in the West call it, Glitter Force. So even in present day, companies can't simply use the original title of the anime. Anyway, Pretty Cure is a magical girl franchise that started in 2004 that revolves around teenage girls getting special items to transform into legendary warriors and have little creatures known as fairies assisting them in order to stop generic antagonists every week. I know I just described Sailor Moon for the most part, but as shown numerous times in the past, if something is popular, people will try and copy it, and this show is one of the few to succeed in that department, as it has been running for 14 years and has become a major success, even getting several movies and games. Back in 2009, the creators of the show came across an idea. What if, for our next movie, we take the previous teams and bring them together to fight one big enemy? And thus, Pretty Cure All-Stars DX, Everyone's Friends, The Collection of Miracles, was born. How successful was it? Well, the All-Star series ran from 2009 until 2016. Yep. It lasted half as long as the Pretty Cure series itself. So was it worth the 7-year run? Well, let's dive into the story synopsis and find out. The story begins with remnants of the grunts from Pretty Cure to Pretty Cure Fresh merging together to form a nasty creature called Fusion. So that's what happened to my fan character after Garden of Athos versus Fairy Tales? That is so weird. As this is going on, the cast of the recent Pretty Cure series at the time is heading off to a dance event when all of a sudden, they are attacked by Fusion before he fucks off for a bit. And one thing I will say right off the bat is that the animation is okay. While the movement is fluid and fast-paced, the art quality does tend to dip in the faraway shots and even some of the medium shots. Yeah, I'm gonna take a wild guess. This was made by Toei, wasn't it? That explains it, but I digress. So after that scene, the fairies of the past series meet up with each other and discuss a means to stop this creature with these rainbow sticks before their creature shows up to attack them, forcing them to retreat. After that, we then cut over to the Pretty Cure 5 cast getting something to eat, and then Fusion shows up to, what else? Fight them, of course. They use their ultimate attack, it absorbs the attack, and then leaves. Then we cut over to the first Pretty Cure team. Fusion shows up, they use their ultimate attack, he absorbs it, and then leaves. Before we cut over to the kids of the first Pretty Cure team? Oh, my mistake. These are the characters from the second Pretty Cure series, Splash Star, who are unrelated to the first team. Huh, they're kind of similar though. Weird. Whatever, Fusion shows up, they use their ultimate attack, and destroys it!
Oh shit!
Nah, just kidding, it absorbs it and leaves. Because reusing the same idea but with different characters 3 times is definitely a great idea. But hey, if it didn't absorb all that energy, it couldn't morph into this bootleg T-1000, so screw it, Final 4 time! Yet it still looks more appealing to the eye than the one in Terminator Genesis. Go figure. And just to get this out of the way, this villain has nothing that made me interested in him as an antagonist outside of his goal and the fact that he speaks. Which does make him far better than most of the antagonists in Digimon Try, but still not that interesting as an antagonist on his own. He certainly fits the bill as a threat, but he's ultimately a forgettable antagonist for me. And that's about it for the story, since what happens after this point is the Pretty Cures meeting up with each other and then fighting Fusion at the end of the movie. So how is the story overall? It's passable. It does a decent job getting our characters together, as well as setting up its antagonists, though I still find it forgettable. There's not a lot of plot holes to it, and the callbacks/references to locations from the past series was a nice touch. Hell, it even did a good job preventing a Deus Ex Machina by the end of it by building up the rainbow sticks at the beginning of the film and occasionally mention it throughout the film so that it doesn't come out of nowhere. Gee, it's almost like building up something like this instead of bringing it up out of nowhere, only mentioning it a whopping one time is a good idea or something. Could it have been a better story? Sure, but it does a decent job for what it sets out to do. Bring together the teams of past series to fight one big bad. As for the characters, they're okay. Sure, some are given more attention than others, but I still find them okay. Granted, you normally wouldn't be watching this if you haven't seen the prior series most likely, but this film did a decent job showcasing their basic character traits, so that even if you haven't seen the series they came from, you get their basic personality/traits. For instance, out of the teams in this film, I have only seen the first Pretty Cure to completion, but I was able to get the basic gist of the characters of Splash Star through fresh Pretty Cure without feeling all that confused about it, and if I had the time, I would be interested in checking out some of those series to know more about them, since some of the teams had interesting characters in this film, so there's that. Well, except for maybe Max Art, since Hikari barely contributes much in this film. Also, I'd be lying if I said that the names for the later cures were a little silly. Cure Blue, Mint, and Peach. What's next, a Cure Mermaid or Cure Honey? I was kidding! But yeah, I also think the chemistry was handled well, and seeing the teams work off each other, especially at the end, was a nice touch and made me like the team up a lot more. I already touched on the animation, though I will add that it's kind of lazy to reuse the animation sequence from previous series instead of making new ones. Then again, Power Rangers is also guilty of that, as shown with Forever Red, so let's wrap this up with the audio element, and to be honest, I liked it. The Japanese VA work is pretty good. I like the background music for its composition, atmosphere, and beat, and I also liked that they used the theme songs for the series that crossed over here. Sure, it's a tiny thing to praise, but it's something I don't see that often in some of the crossovers I've watched today, so yeah. Hell, I even like the opening and ending tunes if that's worth anything. But is it worth watching? Even as someone who never watched Pretty Cure or Magical Girl shows? Well, this is where things get tricky. See, most of the Pretty Cure series and this movie are not available on legal streaming sites or currently available on DVD from the company for English people to buy. Meaning that outside of piracy, the only way you will get to see this movie is through marketplace websites like Amazon or eBay, which is what I did, but it was expensive. Now, I absolutely agree that you should support the official release if you can. That's why I try to watch my anime off Netflix or Crunchyroll. So if you refuse to watch stuff on pirated websites or the like, regardless of if it's currently available to buy/stream on or not, don't even bother with Pretty Cure except for maybe the original series since that's on Verve right now.
Oh, fun fact!
Yeah, I just now realized this during the editing phase. The original Pretty Cure series is also available on Crunchyroll if you have a premium membership. Whoops. Or the series that got adapted into Glitter Force. So, yeah, it's far from amazing, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have some fun watching it, and like I said earlier, I may actually give the other series a shot if I have the time for it. Well, until then, I'm David Grimm, and next time we meet, I'm going back to the fairy tale and back to the show RWBY to tackle its 5th volume. And oh boy, that's gonna end well based on what I heard about it. See you then. Something feels off, but I can't figure out why. Oh, the White Lantern being. What is it?
Let me contact the other ring bearers with telepathy first. Now then, you were correct about something feeling off, Toucher. And that is because ever since Alpha died, the spectrum in this universe is out of balance. If it continues, then the universe itself will cave in due to the imbalance. So in order to do that, the connection to the spectrum must be cut in this universe to save it. Some of them may be able to assimilate some of its power before the connection is cut, but none of them will be able to use the link again, which also includes you. I brought you back to kLuTz, and while you didn't directly kill him, you did your job. And now that your job is done, it's time to strip this world of the rings.
I understand. At least Dave will be free of the ring.
He already has. Farewell, ring bearers. May the spectrum be never seen again.
And so it ends.